Welcome to another episode of The Space. I am joined by yours truly, Quentin Teague.
Yours truly. Wouldn't that be yours truly?
No, you're yours truly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
What's your name?
I'm Quentin.
You've been here before
I have.
when we called it 15 Minutes of Gold.
Yeah, and now we're in a whole new space.
Oh, I like what you did there, man. That's amazing. You just got back from a trip in California
Yeah, it was fire.
called the Dream Center. How'd it
Yes.
go? Tell me about it.
Bruh. It was so good. I honestly went into it with kind of like a blank, space. Whoa, sorry.
Wow.
I'm just
Look
like
at
that.
us,
I'm just like
dude.
that. No, I went into it with like an empty mindset of like whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any expectations because I didn't want it to be like, oh, I want this thing to happen, and then it doesn't, and I'm like crushed by it. So I went into it. I was like, God, I'm here. Whatever you're gonna do that thing. And honestly, I think the biggest takeaway for me was just like I have the capacity to lead. I'm a quote unquote leader, like I'm a youth leader.
Right.
But sometimes I don't believe that like I have the capacity to lead well.
Mm-hmm.
And just throughout that trip, just so many experiences taught me like, no, Quentin, you're here for a reason. Like you're meant to lead.
Let's go.
So it's just like a good feeling.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's I'm so happy that you were able to step in and take that trip and just kind of lead well while I was taking care of my pregnant wife at home.
Yeah, soon to be baby boy.
Soon to be baby boy on the way. You called me last night and we talked for 15 minutes about what I'm excited for. And I think that just our friendship over the last couple years have just like accelerated.
Yeah.
Like where now you're like calling, asking the deep questions that no one else asks. And I'm like,
Yeah.
keep that up. I need that energy, baby. Quentin,
What's up?
you lead our breakfast club.
I do.
Everybody knows that. How have the last few months of Breakfast Club gone? Where do you see yourself taking it in the future? High schoolers that are listening that don't go to the Breakfast Club, why should they be there?
Gosh, I don't know. So when I was first asked to do Breakfast Club, I'm like, shoot, like Breakfast Club is not my thing. But when I stepped into it, I was like, okay, let's change it. Like, let's change it up a little bit. And
Yeah,
I
you're
think
like
it
implementing worship. I walk
Yeah.
in from the service, I'm like, they're worshiping in here. I definitely
Yeah.
didn't do that when I led the Breakfast
Yeah.
Club. Like,
Yeah, I just feel like, it is still a Sunday morning service, so let's
Yeah.
make it like
Yeah.
that. Obviously, we're gonna talk and we're gonna have fun and we're gonna eat good breakfast, but like letting students do take fives.
That's
Like, I
fire.
want more students
That's
to be able
fire.
to speak and share.
Yeah.
Like every student has something that they need to say,
Yeah.
that they want to say.
Yeah.
So why not give them that space?
Right.
That space. Come on.
come
Shout out to the
on, that
space.
keeps happening. Like, give it up for Quentin in the chat.
no,
That's
no.
so fire.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Breakfast Club in the future, I definitely want to step it up to where it's not just one Sunday a month, because I feel like, we have middle school.
Are you dropping something on us right now?
Just a little sprinkle, just
Oh
a little
my
sprinkle.
gosh.
Stay tuned.
Breakfast Club twice a month? Let's get
Stay
it.
tuned.
Hey.
Like we need that. We need a space where our high schoolers can come in and like, let's hang out on a Sunday. We see you on Wednesdays, but I want to see you on a Sunday too. Like, let's get you into the momentum of let's be here on a Sunday.
How cool is that to create that culture where it's like, we're not just here for Wednesday nights. Like, we're here to get you plugged into a church.
Yeah.
Like, and church is on Sundays. So
Yeah.
be here on a Sunday. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love that. So cool. How are you and the fiance doing?
We're good.
Are you getting married anytime soon? Are you gonna?
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but not. I mean, soon-ish.
Yeah, you and
kinda.
your brother are gonna have a wedding on the same day, or what?
We could
That'd
get
be
married
nutty,
together.
dude.
That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
that would be fire, like back to back.
Yeah.
Like you stand over on this side and he stands on this side, and like
Or we're literally standing back to back.
Taylor's doing the vows on this side, and then
Yeah.
his,
He hops over.
her pastor's doing the vow on
Yeah.
that side, and like does it back and forth.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you guys say "I do."
Eh,
At the same time,
I don't know
like,
about that.
I do.
No.
That's fire.
No, I don't think I like
like
that.
you guys are brothers.
No, I mean,
raised in the same
yeah.
house, same parents. Like,
That's true. That's true.
might as well say "I do" on the same day at the same time.
I know my mom's like, just get married together. I'm like,
That'd
Okay.
be weird.
yeah. I'm like, okay. Why though?
Your mom wants you to do that for real.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, you guys just do it together. I'm like,
That's-
no,
I'd be like,
I don't
Mom,
think so.
Mom, that's a no-go
No,
for me.
It's not. It's a no for me.
Yeah. All right, Quentin, I got some tough questions for you. Are you ready for these?
I mean, last time everybody gassed me because I listened to Camp Rock. And
Bro, yeah, you threw a lot of us off with that, bro.
it's good.
You told me when you said that you listened to Camp Rock.
Yeah.
I went home that night and I was like, babe, I'm questioning some of my friendships. No, I'm just kidding. But you said
Like, we
yeah,
can't be friends anymore.
I listened to Camp Rock. And there's nothing wrong with Demi Lovato and
Joe Jonas.
Joe Jonas.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Man,
There's
I still
nothing
just,
wrong with that.
I can't believe you, bro.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't. All right.
All right,
We
later
are
on.
at our Would You Rather segment.
Okay. Let's do
Are
it.
you ready for this?
I am.
I got some poison questions for you.
All right.
You got to
I'm a
answer
little
honestly.
nervous.
You got to answer honestly. I did this with Dante last week,
Uh-huh.
and it was fire.
Okay, let's do it.
Would you rather
Mhm.
drop a 100-pound barbell on your foot or be thrown into a bullfight with no training whatsoever?
Okay, in the bullfight, I'm done. Like, I'm probably not going to survive.
Maybe.
'Cause- No. There's no maybe.
There's just
no
maybe. Like, it's not a guarantee that you're going to die,
No, it kind of is.
but you could also die from an infection of this barbell falling on your foot.
Yeah, but I feel like I could just, like, cut my foot off.
But like why risk cutting your foot off when you could just run from the bull?
No, but I'm not fast enough.
But you don't know this.
But I'm not
stuff.
outrunning
but
the
like,
bull.
but like you don't know how fast you actually can be.
I know, but, like, a bull is like a bull, and I'm a boy. Like, I
bull
just...
is a bull. I'm not a man. Like I'm not a man.
I mean, I
I'm
am
not
a
a
man.
full-grown
I am a
man. Like a bull is a bull, and I'm
I'm a boy. Like, I'm not that... Yeah, I'm not outrunning a bull.
you definitely listen to Camp Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a boy.
Yeah,
that
I'm a
listens
boy.
to Camp Rock.
I'm just
So what are
a
you
boy.
choosing? You're choosing the barbell on your foot.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm choosing the bull
No, you're
all
not.
day long. Yes, I am.
you're-
You're not going to answer my question for me.
Talin, so you mean to tell me that you would rather get trampled by a bull?
100%. I'm a cowboy at heart, so like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm.
Okay.
I feel like I could do it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's in me.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that.
Okay, thank you.
I don't agree, but I'm gonna let you have that.
It's not yours to have.
All right.
All right. Would you rather have your nose light up like Rudolph every time you receive a text message, or get a nosebleed every time someone says your last name?
Probably a nosebleed, because people don't say my last name often.
But you're sitting in a meeting, they're like Quentin Teague, and your nose just starts bleeding.
And then I would tell them, be like, sorry, it just happens.
Sorry,
It just
yeah.
happens.
Just hey, don't say my last name.
Just don't say it. Just say my first name.
Yeah.
Say a different last name.
I'd rather have my
I'll
nose
respond.
light up like Rudolph. You know how
Why?
fire that'd be?
No, because
Like you're the guy that walks around with his nose lit up. It's like text me, like, hey, text me and watch what happens. It's a party trick. Like you walk
that's
into the,
weird.
You walk into the party, you're like,
That's
text me,
weird.
watch what happens.
But imagine you're like on stage on a Sunday and you get a text message and it's like it's flashing.
Fire.
Because doesn't it make noise? Doesn't his nose make noise when
it
it
doesn't have
flashes?
to make noise.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't say that on the card.
But like Rudolph, his nose like made a noise when it flashed. You never seen Rudolph?
In all the movies?
Isn't there only like one?
I don't know, bro. So
Rudolph.
what are you choosing? A nosebleed every time
Nosebleed.
someone says your last name?
Nosebleed for sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're a wild boy.
it's all right.
Couple more.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather eat only wet cat food for the rest of your life,
Okay.
or go to jail for 10 years for a crime you did not commit?
I'm gonna say cat food because low key, you could season it up, you could cook it.
This
you
guy's a wild boy. We are dealing with a...
You can season it, you can cook it up. Like, what do cats eat? Like fish?
You're not going to tell me you're eating wet cat food for the rest of your life. Wet cat food.
Jail?
Yeah, jail's crazy.
Jail?
10 years of jail is wild.
I'm not going to jail for something I didn't do.
For something you didn't
and nobody
do.
believes me that
Yeah,
I didn't
they're
do
like,
it.
nope, you did it.
No.
You
I'm
dropped that
eating-
barbell on that guy's foot. You're going to
Nah,
jail for 10
nah,
years.
I'm eating cat food and I'm cooking it nice. I'm gonna fry it up. It's gonna be like little chicken nuggets. I'm gonna fry it good.
But it's wet.
I know, but I'm gonna cook it like I'm gonna cook it and make it nice.
That's disgusting,
Maybe
dude.
with some rice.
All right. Would you rather only be able to whisper? So like every conversation you have, you're sitting down here on the pod.
Only whispering.
Only whisper. That's the only thing you can.
ASMR.
Or wear shoes that are 2 sizes too small.
Probably whisper. Cause if you're wearing like my feet are gonna have blisters and they're gonna
Yeah.
hurt all the
What
time.
size shoe do you wear already?
9.5.
That's small.
My Air Forces are 8.5.
That's a small shoe
Yeah.
shoe size, bro.
Yeah, I have little feet.
You wear the same size shoe as some of the children in our youth ministry.
Yeah, my nephew's 14 and we have the same size shoe.
Why do you have such a small foot, Quentin?
I don't know because I'm almost 6 feet tall. So why would I wear a
you're
size?
not.
No, yes, I am.
No, you're not.
How are you gonna tell me how tall I am?
Because I'm looking at you.
Aren't we the same height?
No, we're not.
I'm taller than you.
I'm taller than you.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
No, you're.
Tell me I'm not 6 foot right now. Look at me
You're
right.
lying.
Look at me right now and tell me I'm not 6 foot. I didn't think so.
You're
Yeah.
literally not.
They
you're
they
not.
know.
You're literally 5.
They know.
You're 5'11".
You don't know.
You're
dude.
5'11".
I'm 6 foot, dude. 6 foot.
With
giant.
shoes on. With shoes on.
6 foot giant.
With shoes and a hat on, you are 6 feet tall. But
With shoes and a hat on, I'm 6'2". Dude, you don't go to my doctor's appointments, bro.
Yes, I do.
You're not sitting in the waiting room with me at my doctor's appointment.
What makes you say that?
You wasn't sitting in the gym with me at my doctor's appointments. You don't know nothing.
What makes you say that?
What do you mean?
What do you mean I wasn't there?
You weren't.
Okay.
All right, couple more, bro.
Okay.
This is
I guess
a lot.
I wasn't
we
there,
got
huh?
two more. I don't like this one.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Would you rather constantly feel like you need to pee or have an incurable case of pink eye? Oh, that's a good one. I'm not answering. It's just for you.
Probably pink eye. Probably pink eye.
Just an incurable case of pink eye. So you walk around all day. You can barely stare at light. You can contagious people. You can give it to
contage
people.
people.
Yeah. You have it all day. You have it all day, every day, every year, all day, all week,
But
24/7.
having to pee all the... I have to wear diapers?
No, it says constantly feel like you have to pee.
But... So I don't actually have to? I just feel like I have to?
Yeah, like, but then how do you know when you actually have to
That's
pee?
what I'm saying. Like, I'm going to be
Yeah, you gotta wear
constantly
diapers. Yeah, you gotta-
soiling
yeah,
myself.
you gotta wear
Like,
diapers,
I'm going to
dude.
be wetting myself all the time.
Can you guys imagine Quentin in diapers?
I could. When I'm old, maybe.
Whew, that is disgusting.
Yeah, I probably just have pink eye. I've
Pink
never
eye
had
forever?
it. I've never had it before, but I feel like I could bear it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'd be fine.
I think my little brother gave it to me once. It was not fun, dude. I had to wear glasses inside.
Does it hurt? Like, doesn't it itch too?
It's just irritable. And then, like, you
that
can't
itchy?
stare at certain lights.
Like that?
Yeah, like that would.
Yeah,
Why'd you
that
just make
just-
me do that
yeah,
for?
that- that
You're so
just hurt.
disrespectful, bro. All right, last one. Would you rather get kicked in the chest by a racehorse or have a 25-pound ball and chain attached to your ankle forever? You get one and done, or you're attached.
Probably the rate. Like, kick me.
So
like-
you,
Kick me.
bro, you confuse me sometimes.
Yeah, it's
Because
one.
your question earlier.
It's one and done.
But what about the bull?
No, because the bull is like trampling me. Like, it's not one kick. Like, it's trying to.
Well,
crush
you know
me.
they grab the bull once it's done doing its race, and then they put it back behind the.
Yeah, but I feel like by the
The
time
red flag.
they
What's
get
the red
to
thing
it,
called when they they have the red thing and then they like wave it? What's that?
like a little flag.
Yeah,
Like-
but it's not just called a flag. It's called something.
I don't know what it's called though.
Feelings, no facts.
Feelings, no facts.
Yeah, that was a feeling. It wasn't a fact. I'm gonna
Okay.
look it
Yeah.
up.
So it's
The
giving,
red
it's giving
thing.
lies.
The
It's
red
giving
thing
deception.
they use for bulls. Because I want to be right.
It's just like a flag.
No, it's not.
It's a cape, a tarp, tarp games.
What is the red cloth for bulls? I don't even know how to pronounce it.
How do you spell it?
Muleta. Muleta.
Maybe.
All right.
Maybe that's what it is.
Thank you for listening to our segment on Would You Rather. Quentin's answers are quite odd.
Oh,
but,
so you mean to tell me you want a ball and chain attached to your ankles for the rest of your life rather than just getting kicked once?
No, I'm getting kicked once.
Oh, but my answer was wrong.
Yeah, because you said something about doing the bull and then the
Cat food,
No, it was the foot thing, dude.
the foot thing. Oh, getting a dumbbell on my foot?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because just crush my foot. Don't crush my whole body.
Okay. Anyway. Well, the last few weeks at Undivided, we've been talking about this idea of practical ways to love and being reminded of what love looks like. Tonight, if you're listening to this tonight, I am preaching a message called Forgiven and Forgiving. And so I just want to talk about forgiveness tonight. I don't want to talk about love and what it means for you to forgive, what it means for you to love. Like, what does it mean for Quentin when you think of the word love? What does that mean for you?
Jeez. For me, I would say love is like me being able to show up authentically and realizing that I need to be able to love someone's authentic self. Because a lot of times people like try to put on a mask of like, oh, I'm this type of person. But it's like, I can't do that because then how can I expect someone to actually love me if I'm not showing my true self. So I think being able to love someone, like you really need to recognize like how can I be loved like if I'm not being real. Like I think if you're not being real with yourself, it's like you want people to love like a fake version of you.
Wow.
And then when they fall in love with a fake version of you, you can't keep the lies up. So then you get upset when they find out the real you and they don't love that, but it's like you didn't show them the real you in the first place. So you can't get mad at anybody but yourself because you portrayed this version of yourself that wasn't real. And if you really want to love on people, it's like realize that people need to be loved in the place that they're at. Like don't just love like the idea of what someone can be. Like, oh, I love the potential that they have. It's like, but that's not who they are. Like that's not them in that moment. Like love them exactly where they're at and love them as they progress in life.
I think that's really good. I think it's so often we love the idea of what someone can be, or we love what they do for us.
Bruh.
And so like I get so caught up in this like, oh, you don't actually love me. You love what I have or what I can do for you. Like, and so when that thing is gone or that opportunity is missing, then you don't know me anymore. And that's whack, bro. Like those kind of relationships are hard to have. And so rather than loving those people or feeling like I need to have love from those people, I just kind of stop communicating because I don't want to feel like I'm being used. And but I also have to forgive. And when I feel like I'm getting stepped on, I also have to forgive. So talk to me about like how hard it is, but how worth it is to forgive. There's health benefits that are attached to forgiveness. And I've been doing some study and research on it and whatnot. And I think that it's important for us to, I think it's a concept, and I put this in the group chat today. I think it's a concept that we breeze over too often. Like we're hurt by something and we let that hurt dwell in us for a very long time. And it tends to affect the way we sleep. It tends to affect the way we think, our mood. Our blood pressure has a hit on it. Like there's so many factors into holding on to things that we need to release. So do you have any like tips and tricks for people who are like trying to get over this idea of like holding on to pain and hurt that they should be releasing? Not only like just getting it off of them, but like releasing it and then building with God in that. Like, hey, God, I'm releasing this to you. I don't want to carry this anymore. Speak to us about forgiveness a little bit.
I think there's like two sides of it because I would say the one side of like forgiving yourself, I'll start with that. When I look back on my life, I think about like what state of mind was I in when I did that thing or when I was acting that way. And that's how you forgive yourself. Like forgive yourself for that version of yourself, knowing who you are now. Like the person that I am now, I wouldn't do the things that I did before. So I have to forgive that version of myself. And a lot of times we're like, oh, I'm this type of person. It's like, no, you were going through something, so you did that.
Wow.
Or you were feeling this type of way, so you acted that way. But if you know in your heart that that's not who you are, forgive that. Like forgive that version of yourself because you weren't aware. Like you didn't know what you know now. So you can forgive. Like you can let that go. Like you can actively push that aside and say, I forgive myself for that because I know now. I know better now. And I think that's kind of the same with when you forgive other people. It's like if you know that in that person's heart, they didn't really mean to do that, but they did do it. Like you can forgive them knowing that that's not who they are anymore. And if they are still that way, that's when you need to talk to that person. Like stop. I think we need to stop like brushing everything to the side and being like, oh, I'm just not going to talk about it. It's like, why though? Like clearly it's on your heart so much that you want to talk about it because you're gossiping about it or you're telling other people about it, but you won't even tell that person about it.
Wow.
So it's like, that's when you know that you're not forgiving that person when you keep bringing it up or every time you look at that person, you're like, ugh, I can't stand. It's like that person did that 2 years ago. Why are you still mad about it? I think about like with my own dad. I remember the day that I walked in the house and I was like, I can look at him and not have disgust in my heart. I was like, oh, I forgave him. Like I have gone through this process of forgiving him because I can look at him and sit in the room and he could say something that may have triggered me before and it no longer triggers me. I'm like, oh shoot, like we're there.
That's
like,
important.
I can look at him and be okay. Like be fine.
Yeah, I think I've had to do some soul searching, like in myself, to forgive family. Like there's some people in my family alone who've hurt me, and I've held on to it for years and not realized that like the thing that they did when I was 17 years old or 18 years old, that I think about, that I don't ever think about, but then like the moment that it presented itself, it became like this. I'm back into that like space I felt when I was 17 or 18. Like the moment I thought about it, I'm like, oh, bitter, angry, frustrated. But then I didn't really know what forgiveness was. So it wasn't until someone sat me down and was like, you have some unfinished business that you need to like correct,
Yeah.
that you need to like forgive. But it like
Yeah.
took me some time because like forgiveness is difficult because oftentimes we don't understand it properly.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have to accept the behavior to forgive you, but I
Yeah.
do have to work within myself to like understand that what I'm going through is only hurting me more. Like the person who did this to me is probably feeling whatever, like whatever, and I'm the one sitting dwelling in it,
Yeah.
sitting in
I'm
it,
the one
and I'm
angry.
like I'm angry about it,
Yeah.
and my mood is changing, my blood pressure's high, I can't sleep, I'm putting on a bunch of extra weight, but it's because I haven't dealt with the issue when
Yeah.
they are fine. And so
Yeah.
the reason why I say things like it's only going to hurt you in the long run is because they are fine and you're the one that's dealing with
Yeah.
the pain. So it's like I have a list of things that like how to understand it properly. It does not mean approving of what someone else did.
Yeah.
It does not mean pretending that the evil never took place.
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean making excuses for other people's bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean justifying evil so that sin somehow becomes less sinful.
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean overlooking abuse. That's an important one. Like sometimes I think we downplay some people's like,
Bruh.
you know what I mean? Like,
Especially, I feel like so many times we like, especially when it's people that we're close to, we'll like let them act any sort of way around us, or like we'll let them treat us any sort of way, and we're like, oh, but they're just my friend. I'm like, exactly. If they're your friend, like they really shouldn't be treating
right.
you like
It does
that.
not mean letting them walk all over you.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it does not mean forgetting the wrong that was done.
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean pretending that you were never hurt.
Yeah.
It does not mean that you must restore the relationship to what it was before. And that's important.
Facts.
Like, you do not have to go back to what was. You just have to get over what was.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot stay in what was.
Yeah.
Like, that has to, like, you have to, like, prepare your heart to step into what God has for you. But if you're stuck here, God can't move you forward.
Yeah.
Because you haven't gotten over what you need to move forward from. Like,
Yeah.
if I didn't get over what I was hurting from with my family, I don't think I'd be where I am today.
Mm.
Honestly. Because I would have been stuck in that feeling of like, I need to go out and do X, Y, and Z to feel better. It's like, no, I just turn to God now. And like, because he released me from it, I know who I can always turn to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so important too, because we get, like you were saying, we get stuck in a cycle of like, oh, well, every time they say this or every time they do this, I'm triggered. It's like, yeah, you're probably triggered because God's trying to show you like, hey, I'm giving you this emotion or this feeling so that you can bring it to me and we can actually solve it.
Yeah.
It's like we can't just keep downplaying what we're feeling. Like, oh, they don't really care about what I'm feeling. I'm like, did you ask them?
Yeah.
Like, did you ask them like, hey, do you know that when you did this, it made me feel this way? Because they might not even know. Like in their head, they probably thought it was something like super light. And in
Right.
your heart, like this is so heavy. Like the power of communicating how you're feeling, especially with people you're close with, like you should really have those conversations because you're never going to feel like satisfied in the friendship or relationship or family, whatever it is, until you actually step out and say, hey, like you don't even have to say, I'm sorry, but I just want to let you know this is how I felt when you did this. Because I've already forgiven you in my heart. And I know that I need to take this step to really just clear the air and say,
Yeah.
hey, you did this. I was upset by it. That's that. I
So
spoke my
good.
piece, and
So
that's
good.
okay.
I want to wrap it up by this. C.S. Lewis made this quote. It says, everyone says forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive. That is fire.
Yeah, it
That
is. No,
is
I say
fire.
because it's so true. Like I feel like everybody loves to talk themselves up. Like, oh yeah, I'm so quick to forgive, and I love communicating. I'm like, that's crazy because you're over here gossiping about this person that hurt you 2 years ago, and you're not forgiving them. It's like it's one thing to share like what you've been through, but it's another thing to constantly like be bashing that person.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, they make me so mad. And
Yeah.
every time they say this, I just get so upset. I'm like, why though?
Yeah.
Like, why is it that deep for you?
Yeah.
And if it really is that deep, like, do you want to actually dive deep and get it out? Because a lot of times we like to vent about things, not for the sake of actually healing from it, just to like say it.
Yeah.
It's like you're just spewing empty words now. Like you're just constantly running through this battle in your head, thinking that it's going to change something when in reality, you don't actually want to heal from it. You don't actually want to forgive that person. You want to keep that narrative of them so you can keep this idea like, oh, they're lower than me. Like they treated me this way. I never have to deal with them again. It's like, why though? Like, why do you have this I never want to deal with that again mentality? It's like, shouldn't you go back into that space and say, I'm better than that now. I understand where you were coming from and I forgive you. And now I want to show you love that you didn't show me.
So good.
Because so many times we get hurt and we think that it's our opportunity to like never show that person love again. It's like, maybe you were the only person that could show them love and they hurt you because they don't know how to show love.
Yeah.
They've never received love.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, I hurt them. They went away. They're just like everyone else.
Right.
It's like, we can't be those everyone else type people.
Yeah.
Like, as followers of Christ. And we have this idea that we can just be walked over because we're Christians. Like, oh, we just have to love on people. And I'm like, love is tough. Like, love is not always just sweet and I'm just going to give you hugs and smiles and all that. Like, love is like, hey, I love you so much that I need to have this real conversation with you because I can't let you do this. I can't let what you do to me, what you did to me, you can't do that to anyone else because I know how much that hurt and I cannot bear to see you do that to someone else. So I'm going to speak to you in a way that's going to help you understand, hey, your behavior, the way that you're treating me is terrible.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely hurting me and you're hurting yourself and you're going to hurt someone else and I want to block that person from that hurt.
Totally.
So it's just like, what steps do you want to take?
Yeah.
Like you said, take the steps for real. Like, don't just act like it's nothing.
Speaking of steps, this will be the last question I ask. What would you say is the first step for someone trying to process or get over some hurt from their past that they need to like start working out? Like, what's the first step you would say that they need to take to like process the healing, process the hurt, process the forgiveness? How would you explain that to someone as like a first? What's the first step they would take?
I would say the first step is to slow down. I think we constantly, like, we keep ourselves active so we don't have to deal with things. We'll keep ourselves going and doing activities and being around people. But it's like, maybe take a step back and say, maybe I need to be alone for a little bit. And whether it's journaling or writing or talking to a therapist or whatever it is, but like slow down because you're constantly running and running and running, trying to avoid the things. And the things are coming after you. The unforgiveness is coming after you.
Yeah.
So you need to slow down and say, okay, whoa, I'm moving too fast. I need to deal with this thing because I keep being triggered by it. Keep being triggered by it, but I want to actually address what it is.
Right.
Because I feel like so many times it's so deep down that we don't even really remember what it was that's making us feel that way about that person or whatever it is. So like slow down and really address like what actually hurt me. Because everything that this person is doing or the situation, these are just like little fruits of the actual root of the problem.
Yeah.
So do I want to identify the root? Do I want to identify why I'm triggered by this thing or why I have unforgiveness? So just slow down and really take the steps and ask yourself those questions. So that was a lot, sorry, but
No, you're good.
yeah, the first step is
man.
just like slow down, seriously, slow down.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, well, welcome to another episode of The Space. Welcome, exiting, whatever. We had such a good conversation. I don't even know how to end it. But thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Quentin, this is not going to be the last time you see him. He's going to be here way more.
I'll be back.
We love you guys. Tune in to our YouTube. Tune in to our podcast, not just the Space Podcast, but we will be dropping every sermon I preach on Wednesday nights or every sermon that is preached on Wednesday nights. And then we also have the Space Podcast that is going to be on Apple and Spotify,
yes,
wherever you get your podcast. So thank you for joining us. We love you. We will see you next week with a special episode from our lead pastor, Pastor Taylor Murray.
Let's go.
Peace.
Love you guys.